Welcome, credit union members. We are so happy that you chose to join us today for our 2020 virtual annual meeting. A few housekeeping items before we begin. This webinar is being recorded. If you've used Zoom meetings before, this will be a little different. You won't be sharing audio or video on your end, but you will be watching and listening to our speakers. If you have questions for any of our speakers during the meeting, please ask them by clicking on the Q&A icon on the Zoom toolbar. This should be at the bottom of your screen. Type in your question and hit enter or click submit. Speakers will either respond live to your questions or you'll receive an answer privately via chat. Please take a moment now to find this. Our speakers really want to hear any questions you have throughout the meeting. We will also have a period of time at the end for additional questions. A few times during the meeting, you will see a poll pop up. Please choose a response and click submit each time you see a poll. Let's do a test poll right now to make sure we're comfortable with that functionality. So you should be viewing a poll right now. Go ahead and respond. All right, awesome. Looks like a lot of you guys were able to figure that out, and we've got a close tie between coffee and water. So awesome, glad you guys were able to find that poll feature. The next thing that I want to point out, our last item of housekeeping, is you will see a few links that are going to show up in your chat tool. So if you click on the chat icon, there's going to be a few links that pop up. It's going to look like this. These are the documents that you will need to access during the meeting, such as the technical support email and phone number, as well as the annual meeting agenda, the annual report, and the PowerPoint presentation. Note that these are being provided through Dropbox. Dropbox will ask you to sign up, but you don't need to do that in order to view and download the files. So just click X when it asks you to join, and you can still view and download those files. Particularly important right now is the agenda. We really value your input and your participation in this meeting. And in a few moments, our speakers are going to ask you to review the previous meeting's minutes and vote to approve them. We want you to have time to review before the vote. So I'm going to step off for a moment and give you some time to download and review. Those links should be live in chat within the next 30 seconds or so. Please go ahead and find those, download them, and take a look. Okay, hopefully everyone has had a moment to download those. Again, if you missed that the first time, they will be in your chat. If you go to your Zoom toolbar, you should see a little chat button, and within there, there should be some links to download the files that we'll be referencing today. Now I'm happy to introduce our co-chairs of the Board of Directors, Paul Waterman and Chris Ernest.
All right. Thank you, Christina. Appreciate that. And good morning, everyone out there. We're really happy that you're all able to join us today. And I'm also really happy, per the initial poll there, that I'm not the only coffee drinker out there. So that's good to know. Well, welcome everyone to the 69th annual meeting of our members. My name is Chris Ernest, co-chairman of the Board of Directors.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Paul Waterman. I'm the co-chairman of the Board of Directors. Let's call this meeting to order. The first order of business is to make sure that we have a quorum. And based on the numbers I'm seeing, we have 113 participants, which is sufficient. So I will officially declare the quorum is present and this meeting can begin.
I'd like to start out by saying that we're very fortunate to have many smart, high-integrity board members really dedicated to providing an excellent credit union for our members. Please allow me to introduce and thank them for their service. We have Andrew Roberts, co-vice chairman, Janet Burgett Martin, co-vice chairman, Erica Gibbons, treasurer, Melanie Merrill, secretary, Jerry Hartram, director, Ray Kingsman, director, Dennis McDonald, director, Lorenzo Sierra, director, Steve Wolf, director, Roger Zollinger, director, and JJ Peterson, director. A note about JJ. JJ has decided to step down from the board due to other commitments that he has, but we do want to thank him for his several years of dedicated service and wish him well. Hopefully we'll see him in a leadership role in the future.
Thanks, Chris. We're also fortunate to have a very active and competent professional supervisory committee. The committee report will be shared later in this meeting, but I want to thank the following members for their participation on our committee. Al DeBrawa, committee co-chair, David Mattson, committee co-chair, Harshad Desai, committee member, Lupe Herringer, committee member, Frank Martinson, committee member, and Richard Rodriguez, committee member. Thank you all for your fantastic effort over the last year. Now moving on to the next order of business. We need to approve the minutes of the 2019 annual meeting. The annual meeting from the April 23rd, 2019 meeting, April 23rd, 2019 meeting you were asked to pull those up and to review those. Hopefully you've had at least a brief moment to do that. And I will now call to the floor. I'm ready to entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented. Do I have a motion from the floor to accept the minutes as presented?
I move to accept the meeting minutes as presented.
Thank you, Erica. We have a motion. Do I have a second?
I second.
We have a motion and a second. The item is now open for discussion, if there is any. At this point, I'll give you a few moments. If you have any questions about anything that's written in those minutes, you can type those in, or if you're an active participant in this meeting, you can comment on it at this point in time. So I'll give everybody a little bit of time here, respecting the minutes of the meeting. Okay, to our moderator, anything coming in from the membership?
Doesn't look like it. Paul, back to you.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have a motion and a second. We have no questions. So I think we're prepared to vote to accept the minutes as presented in the board or the meeting packet. So we will be doing a poll for that as practiced earlier. If you're in favor of accepting, that would be yay. If not, nay. Please vote. Awesome. We have 99% in favor and 1% opposed. The motion passes. Thank you very much. Next order of business, President and Co-Chairman's report. Slide 3 of the annual agenda. I think you should be seeing that at this point in time. The written President and Co-Chairman's report is currently being shared on your screen. The annual report can be downloaded from the website. We'd encourage you to read through that, please, and look at the highlights of challenging but extraordinary year for our credit union. We've asked Rob Scott, our CEO, to discuss a few of the highlights and entertain questions you may have, any member may have. Rob?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just want to also send a big thank you to our members for joining us this morning. We have quite a few members online. It's an honor to be with you and to present a few highlights from 2019 and to kind of let you know where we're headed for 2020, even though we're halfway through the year. I like to always start off by just saying and reminding everyone, especially our members, that we're really part of something great here. Being members of our credit union, we have almost 40,000 members that we call, and they are actual part owners. And just a reminder that we are a not-for-profit financial institution. Our sole purpose, we were created to serve our members' financial needs. So it's very important to recognize the difference between a credit union. As a reminder, Christina mentioned, please use the Q&A box on the bottom to ask any questions and to submit your comments. We will have some time after each section of the meeting and at the end of field members' questions. As the report mentions that you're seeing there, 2019 was an extraordinary year. As you know, we legally and officially completed our merger of equals between Deer Valley and Canyon State as of October 1st, 2019. Each of our credit unions had almost 20,000 members. We just also completed a merger of Southwest Healthcare Credit Union, who had 1,600 members. And that merger was completed on June 1st, 2020. By combining forces of members, assets, board members, committee members, and staff, we have created a financially and operationally stronger credit union for our members. It has taken us some time to create a new brand and a new name. And we're all excited. I'm sure you've seen a little bit on social media, but we'll take some time today to go through our new name, Copper State Credit Union, and our new brand. I have a new hat that I've been given that has our new logo. So I will wear the hat while presenting these slides. Christina, if you could help me out with our new name slides. Thank you. So there it is, Copper State Credit Union. If you're new to the Valley or to the state, we are the Copper State, Arizona. We're able to serve many members throughout counties in Arizona. And the baseline for our new brand and our new name is to really be member focused. And of course, families come in all sizes, family focused, all sizes, shapes, and we aim to serve all families within our field of membership. Christina, if you could go to the next slide. We have four values that we want to focus on. The first one is family. We value family, our Copper State family of employees, of members, the families we serve in the community. We value empowerment, strive to empower our members with financial freedom, knowledge, and tools to help them reach their goals. We also strive to empower employees, give them the tools they need to reach their career and professional goals. The last two, discovery. We value discovery. We embrace a culture of curiosity and innovation. We encourage our members and our employees to be courageous and forthcoming with new ideas. And finally, we value excitement. We aspire to make finances a positive and exciting experience for our member families, as well as our employees, so that everyone has a shared experience and being part of our credit union. Next, again, the logo and the name, just kind of highlighting our vision, mission, and value. And it's really about elevating the financial strength of Arizona families through every season of their life. Our mission, why we're here, is to enable our member families to achieve financial progress. And our value proposition is that we aim to strengthen Arizona families through financial empowerment. Moving on with the report from 2019, I want to mention that for our vintage Deer Valley members, our system upgrade will occur over the weekend of August 1st and 2nd. Please look for emails, regular mail, and check the website to learn more about the upcoming change. Just this yesterday, I received a 6-page letter, so please look for items in the mail to get you prepared for the upgrade. The upgrades do include new online banking system, new mobile app, and all members will receive a new debit card. Although online and mobile services will not be available that weekend, your debit and credit cards will work as normal. Again, please check the website for more information. For our we'll be having also some member webinars and education sessions over the next 3 weeks in order to help members with these changes. And of course, we're always available to assist via phone, email, and in the branch. Our Southwest Healthcare members will go through a similar account change and system conversion later in the year. Back to the president's report and the co-chairman's report. Again, there's a lot of highlights in 2019. One obviously very important is, as the report highlights, is that our credit union was selected by Grand Canyon University to serve as its financial institution partner. This is quite an honor. GCU is one of the fastest growing universities in the country, and we're honored to have a branch in their bookstore. On your screen is a picture of the branch at their bookstore called the Lope Shop. We built this branch in less than, I believe, 45 days. It has, we have several students working there as well. So we have students helping students. We currently installed 4 ATMs across the campus, again, to serve students, staff, and alumni. We will also continue to support and sponsor many sports and school activities on campus. In general, we are big supporters of the communities we serve and continue the credit union tradition of people helping people. In addition to local food banks, which have been hit so hard this year, we raised funds and supplies and awareness for multiple family-related causes, such as foster families, Children's Hospital, and other local charities. A portion of the funds that we normally spend for our annual meeting, we are donating on behalf of our credit union, and especially our members, to some of the causes listed here: Arizona Helping Hands, ABC, ABCS, and Phoenix Children's Hospital. And I want to thank our members for their generous support of these efforts. In summary, Mr. Chairman, I just want to thank our members for their support, the board's leadership, and the staff's commitment to our members. We have really accomplished more in the past year than most organizations accomplish over several years. Think about what we've done. We've combined 3 credit unions. We've partnered with a top-notch university. We've upgraded our banking systems. We rolled out our new name and brand, all this during a pandemic. Christina, I will pause here to see if members have any questions at this time about the material we presented so far.
Hi, Rob. One of the questions that a member asked is, why doesn't the credit union offer higher interest savings accounts? This member says, I keep my money at ally.com instead of the credit union.
Yeah, that's one area we'd really like to push up our online or just our savings accounts in general. As you know, interest rates are at an all-time low with some of the competing online banks, especially like Ally. They have their loans that they earn money on are credit cards. So they're able to charge their cardholders 18, 22, 24%, and then pay higher amounts on the savings accounts. For us, we have a wide variety of loans for our members. We offer first mortgages. We offer, auto loans at a much, much lower rate. So our spread from what we earn and what we can pay is very small. And so I would just ask you to be patient. One of the benefits of this merger, or these mergers, are to be more efficient, to utilize the efficiencies from fewer vendors and fewer administrative costs so that we can pass on more interest and better rates to our members on the savings side. Christina?
All right, thanks, Rob. Looks like we have another question from a member. Will there be any other credit unions joining the family in the near future?
Yeah, we think about that all the time. It's really a rare and unusual case, even nationwide, for two very healthy, very strong, similar sized credit unions to join forces. It really putting our members first and combining that way. So that has really gained the attention of other credit unions, both in the Valley and nationwide. So although we're not pursuing any other mergers, we have plenty to do right now. I think others might call or inquire if the economy, again, doesn't improve. It's tough out there, as you know, with the pandemic. So I wouldn't be surprised if more credit unions call and ask to join forces, but at this time we have nothing planned.
All right, and we do have another question. What is the overall worth of the combined credit union?
The net worth of the credit union, we'll get to Erica's treasurer's report here in a minute, but it's over 9% is our net worth ratio. She'll explain that. And anything over 7% is considered by our regulators to be well capitalized. We do a lot of stress tests on that, and we are in good shape. Very sound and safe credit union, even if rates go up or go down significantly. So almost 10%, and that equates to over $40 million in net worth that is available as our rainy day fund or our reserve amount.
Thanks, Rob. We have another member who's asking, where are the various branches of Copper State located?
Good question. We have them all over the state. I'll start with up in the north. Be nice to be there today in Payson. We have one in Anthem, North Phoenix on Bell Road, out in Glendale on 59th and Union Hills, out in Surprise off of Bell and Reams, down in Goodyear off of Litchfield, also off of Osborne and I-17, and with Southwest Healthcare on 16th Avenue in Thomas. And somebody will get on me after the meeting. I hope I didn't miss anybody, but also Deer Valley and 35th Avenue. We also, obviously the GCU branch I showed, and we have a nice student-run branch at Metro Tech High School. We're very proud of that, as well as a small service solution at the Safeway headquarters. I think I've covered them all, Christina.
All right. Will there be any new branches opening in the Scottsdale or East Valley area? We have another member who asked that.
That's a good one. We seem to get asked that every year, and we really want to be out there. we're just trying to figure out with all the new branches we have, optimizing the ones we have first. I'm trying to remodel some of them as well. Some of them are due for an upgrade for our members that visit those branches. So we're trying to focus our attention and funds first on the current branches we have, but then obviously we will look for other locations. The East Valley is a little tricky. There are many, many credit unions, larger ones out there, and it seems like they have quite a few corners on the market, but I wouldn't rule out East Mesa or East Valley sometime in the future.
Thanks, Rob. Another member has asked, why were the Arrowhead and Surprise branches closed temporarily?
Yeah, thank you. We, with the pandemic, obviously we are very tight on our rules. We have a game plan for all scenarios that come up. So if an employee, for instance, has been exposed to the virus or in their household, we take precautions, and based on the exposure determines how long we close the branch. So if an employee's, let's say, family member or roommate is positive for COVID, then we'll shut the branch down for a few days, do a deep cleaning, make sure employees are monitoring their temperatures and their health, and then we will open up at that time. If an employee has contracted the virus directly, then we close for a few more days. These are unfortunate events. I know many credit unions and banks across the city and country are doing the same thing. Some are closing permanently and just having maybe half of their branches available. We're trying to focus on the day-to-day, and if we need to, we will do that. But at this time, our employees we're trying to maintain all of our branches open as best we can, also honoring and protecting our members and our employees from the virus. So that's our strategy at this point. So to answer the original question, both those branches, one in Surprise had an employee tested positive. We contacted members that employee assisted the previous several days. And on Arrowhead, we thought there was an exposure of COVID from an employee, but it turned out it was he tested negative, so we were able to open that branch again. But just to finish the thought, that won't be the last time that's happened. I'm sure that this, I'm not predicting bad things, but the virus seems to be kind of ramped up in our city right now. So we are ready every day to be able to take action if we need to. Christina?
Thank you, Rob. We have another question. Why was mortgage loan servicing outsourced? The main reason we moved our loan to Deer Valley was to have local servicing. Ironically, the outsourced company was our previous servicer.
Well, that is too bad. Ironic. We just with the combination of having two different ways that mortgages are serviced. Again, one was in-house, one was outsourced. I want to be clear that we don't sell our mortgages, really just using a third-party expert to be able to service those. The software, the regulations, the employee expertise needed to service a portfolio of our size. It's almost 1,000 mortgages, and it became to a point where we needed to find an expert in the field, and we were able to negotiate pretty good pricing for us, and we did pick best of class. I hope that they serve you well. We're always on the line, and we're monitoring closely. I'm sure it will be a bumpy ride for the first couple months, but please call us if you have any issues with Devin Mule DMI, who is now servicing our first mortgages.
Thank you, Rob. Another member is asking, are you requiring masks to be worn in the branches?
Yes, we are following the mandate from the governor that all employees and members are wearing masks.
Okay, it looks like perhaps that is all for now. There's lots of questions coming in. Just a reminder to everyone, those are either being answered privately or they will be answered live, and we will pause several more times during the meeting to answer these questions. But it looks like that may be all for right now. Back to you, Rob.
Thank you, Christina. With that, again, I appreciate all the members being here. We have many participants, and it was always fun to stand up in a live environment, and we very much look forward to that happening hopefully next year. Mr. Chairman, I'll pass it back to you. Thank you.
Thanks for that report, Rob. Just a note to the members, we will be staying after the meeting is over officially. And so to the extent that you do have questions that weren't addressed or you want to ask additional questions, we'll be giving as much time as I think anybody wants to stick around and ask any of our staff or board or other members questions. So thank you for that. Next on the agenda is the credit manager's report, and this report will be presented by Mr. Greg Riley. Greg?
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's a pleasure to spend a few minutes talking about highlighting our lending successes in 2019. My written report is included in your packet. And as a reminder, if you have any questions, please use the Q&A icon button to ask those questions. Our members continue to support the credit union. Last year, we assisted over 10,000 members with new loans ranging from small emergency lines of credit to home purchase money in a total of $50 million. We try very hard to approve all the loans for our members or structure a deal to help them meet their financial successes. Sometimes we're not able to approve the loan at that time right away for them, but we do provide our members with the necessary education and guidance for a future loan approval. So we're here for you and help you, and we'll get you where you need to be. As highlighted on the screen in my report, we continue to work with local auto and RV dealers to provide member vehicle financing from their credit union at the dealership. Providing robust first and second mortgage loans, small business loans, cashback, and first-time buyer vehicle programs. And recently, we've introduced a swimming pool program where we're working with local vendors, builders, and helping our members install swimming pools. With the pandemic, that seems to be, with everybody staying home, that's real popular right now. So thank you, members, for trusting us with those needs. Overall, we had a healthy mix in 2019 of the originated loans. You can see that on your screen now. And as shown in the charts, our loan delinquency and our loan losses are lower than our peer group of credit unions. This is a testament to our members' commitment to their credit union and our employees finding an affordable loan solution to meet our members' needs. As a reminder, you may ask questions by using the Q&A icon. I'll pause here and ask Christina, do we have any questions?
Okay, Greg, looks like that's all the questions we have for you specific to lending right now. So I will turn it back to you.
All right. Mr. Chairman, thank you for the time, and thank you to our members for trusting us with your lending needs.
All right, thank you, Greg, for that report. Next on the agenda this morning is the Treasurer's Report by Erica Gibbons.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The annual meeting contains the Treasurer's Report, including the Statement of Financial Condition and Statement of Income. Our merger of equals created a strong balance sheet comprised of over $435 million in assets at the end of 2019. Our members have entrusted over $376 million in shares with our credit union. We've been able to lend out $289 million to members and invest over $77 million for future loan demand. We've had an optimal amount of liquidity at our size with over $30 million in cash and cash equivalents. As Rob mentioned before, the credit union reached almost a 10% net worth ratio with over $43 million in reserves. Any ratio above 7% is considered well capitalized. as Greg mentioned in our credit manager's report, our main source of revenue comes from interest earned on credit, on member loans. The statement of income here shows $7 million earned on loan interest and another $1.8 million in investment interest. Operating expenses were $11 million and net income for the year was $2.1 million. Operating expenses are projected to decrease after the combination of system and vendor commitments concludes over the next amount of time. I too wish to thank our members for their continued support and participation in our credit union. Now, Christina, I'll just pause here to see if any questions or comments came in from our members.
Erica, looks like we don't have any questions specific to your section of the report right now, so I will turn it back to you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my treasurer's report.
Okay, thank you, Erica, for that report. Next on the agenda, moving right along, is the Supervisory Committee's report. And this will be presented by our co-chair of the Supervisory Committee, Al DeBrowa. Al?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And good morning all, and thank you for attending. On behalf of the entire Supervisory Committee, we're happy to provide the written report located in the packet and on your screen. The Supervisory Committee serves an important role of providing oversight for our credit union's financial activities. We work with many internal and external partners to ensure that our assets are secure through the implementation of sound financial policies, procedures, and controls. In addition to ensuring sound financials, we also work with members if they have account questions or issues that need to be resolved. We're pleased to report that we rarely receive any member complaints or issues related to their accounts. We are also pleased to report that based on many internal and external reviews of our credit union, we operate in a safe and sound manner. The full audited financials as of September 30th, 2019 can be found on our website. At this time, I'd like to thank my fellow committee members for their hard work this year. And Christina, I'll pause here to see if we have any member questions or comments.
Al, looks like we don't have any questions specific for you right now, so I will turn it back to you.
Thank you, Christina. Mr. Chairman, that concludes the Supervisory Committee report.
All right, thanks Al for that report.
You're welcome.
Next on the agenda is old and new business. Under old business, we don't have anything on the docket, so we'll move on to new business. In new business, we have some bylaw revisions for the membership's consideration. The first bylaw change, which is in section 7.3, is the addition of an IT governance committee. The second change, which is in section 8.3, will allow directors and committee members to be compensated for time and reimbursed for expenses in direct with the duties that we perform. The third change is a small clarification for non-membership eligibility, and that's in section 3.1 and highlighted in red. The fourth change is we're adding 6 Arizona counties to our eligible membership, and you can find that in section 3.2. And finally, we have a name change, as Rob went through before, to Copper State Credit Union. All of these bylaw changes have been approved by our regulator, the Arizona Department of Financial Institutions. I would like to take a minute here to pause and see if anybody has questions that we could answer before we go to vote to ratify the bylaw changes.
And Mr. Chairman, I'm just going to wait one more moment to see if any questions come in.
Yeah, absolutely, Christina.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, looks like that's all the questions we have right now, so I will turn it back to you.
Okay, thank you, Christina. At this time, I would like to entertain a motion on these bylaw changes.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, could I have a second?
Sure, second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We will now use the polling feature to capture the vote on the motion to approve the bylaw changes. Okay, looks like the results are in. 99% are in favor, 1% opposed. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Looks like someone just wants to make sure that the nay is actually working. That's good. Next on the agenda is a report from our nominating committee, and this will be presented by Melanie Merrill. Melanie?
Hello, thank you. Mr. Chairman, the nominating committee reviewed and nominated the following nominees to fill open board of director positions: Janet Burgett Martin, Erica Gibbons, Jerry Hartram, Tilly Jones, Dennis McDonald, Tom Phelan, Chris Ernest, Steve Wolf, Roger Zollinger, and myself. The bylaws state that due to the same number of nominees running for an equal number of open director positions, the nominees have been elected by acclamation. Any questions?
I don't believe we have any questions for you right now, so I will turn it back to you.
Thanks, Melanie. Thank you very much for that report. This concludes the official business that we have on the agenda for today. I'd like to thank all of you for taking time out of your busy Saturday to attend this meeting, albeit in a different format than is typical. I just want everybody to know before we adjourn, I want to cover a few items. One, you will be given a survey as you exit this meeting, and that survey will ask you some questions about your experience in our Zoom annual meeting. We are very interested in your input, so please fill that out as you feel necessary. Additionally, I want to remind everybody that we will be sticking around at the conclusion of the meeting. So if anybody has any questions that have popped in to their head, or they want something addressed that has not been addressed yet, we are more than happy to field those questions after the meeting. So before we proceed with closing the meeting, are there any questions, Christina, that have come up that you feel need to be part of the official meeting?
So we do have a question from a member asking, are you still partnered with GCU?
Mr. Chairman, I'll just jump in here. Yeah, and actually, Mr. Chairman is a professor at GCU. So yes, we are partnered with GCU in a long-term contract, and very happy that that's the case, and are working hard to keep that strong relationship that we have. I know school start this year is somewhat up in the air, and we are flexible, and we'll work with the school, obviously, with our different ATMs and our branches. So yes, very, very solid relationship right now. Thank you, Christina.
And I'm just going to pause here for about 30 seconds and allow some more people to ask questions, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, we've got a couple more questions coming in. We have a question from a member asking, how are nominees identified and selected?
I think I'll let Melanie, the chairman of the nominating committee. Melanie, if you're still out there, could you comment on that particular?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we always entertain interested people. We love to have people interested in running on the board. And when we get people interested, we interview them. And, you know, if they're qualified, then they go on to the slate to be voted for. We did not have any outside, this year, we did not have any outside people who had submitted their names that were qualified to run. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, that's great, Mel. I just would also point out that because of the merger, we don't normally have, 8 to 10 board members running. Usually it's 3 or 4 positions open each year, but it's just a unusual year for the number of openings. But yes, would encourage members on the website. There's information about how to submit to be a board member, and just would encourage folks to go there as a resource. Thank you, Christina.
All right, we have another question. Member is asking, compensation of persons other than verifiable expenses would be what? It was an item on the bylaw revision. I believe asking for clarification on that.
Yeah, so that allows the state of Arizona, this is Rob Scott, the state of Arizona allowed credit unions to compensate board and committee members a sum of money, for instance, per month, let's say, for meeting attendance. So at this time, I believe it's $250 per month. So it's a small stipend in order to help board members be compensated for paid time off, maybe that they have to take from work, and the time and effort that they put into it. So it's a small amount, and again, it's aimed at really just covering incidentals.
Great, thanks, Rob. Next question, when account numbers change, will it affect our direct deposit?
Yeah, that's another one where there's a lot of things changing, but direct deposits will come in the same way. When you look at the 6-pager information sheet, it'll talk a little bit about the ACH. There may be some, I believe we have 60 members possibly that may have duplicate member numbers as somebody else in the total membership base. And we're contacting those members directly, but for the majority of our members, ACH will behave like it is normally. We're doing a lot of back-end testing and mapping so that we have minimal interruption for our members. Even bill pays, if members have bill pays set up, online banking, all those will come over as well. So they don't have to retype in bill pays address and how much they want to pay. So just encourage members when they first log into their new online banking on August 3rd that they take a look at it and go through it. And I think they'll find that it's pretty intuitive and it's an improvement on what most members are used to dealing with. So it's different. I'm not going to lie. It's a different program, different ways, different icons. But I think over time, if you give it a week and try it out, that you'll like it even better than what you're used to now.
Thanks, Rob. Next question is, can members become board appointed?
That's a good question. The only time the board can appoint a board member is if a board member, a current board member resigns during the year. So let's say in October, if a board member resigns, then the board appoints a new board member to serve until the next annual meeting. So that's the only opportunities that the board has to appoint somebody on the board. They do appoint committee members once a year. So after the annual meeting, they'll get together at the end of July board meeting, and they'll start putting people on different committees, supervisory committee, and committees amongst the board themselves. There's several committees. The membership just approved the IT governance committee. So that's an example of a board committee that would be appointed in the July meeting.
Thank you, Rob. We have another question. When will the new headquarters be opened?
Yeah, that's been fun. We had our second move yesterday, and so moving files and people, everybody except, ironically, Christina, who's hosting this meeting. She's still in her old spot. Everybody else has been moved over, and we're excited. Give us a few weeks to dust it up. We kind of moved in while it was being finished, trying to land the plane while the landing gear was being constructed. But give us a few weeks. We'll be happy to show you around.
All right. Next question is, would we still have to connect to the Elan Financial Services, I'm assuming website, to access our Deer Valley credit card?
Yes, nothing will change on the Elan side. So if you have a credit card through Deer Valley's partnership with Elan, then that will stay the same. Nothing will change there. Somebody can correct me, Jen or other management team members, but I believe that's the case. Not to muddy the waters here, but our vintage Canyon State members that have credit cards with Canyon State, those will be transitioned in the next 6 to 8 months as well to Elan to be able to offer better benefits for our members. But probably shouldn't even have brought that up, but that's coming down the road too.
Thank you, Rob. Another question is, can we do remote banking at the same credit union? Shared branching, maybe?
I'm not sure. The remote banking things, I'm not sure what they're asking on that one. But right now, if you're a Canyon State member, vintage, we like to say, then you will access online banking the same way. Vintage Deer Valley members will access the new website and new online banking and download a new mobile app and get in that way. If you're a Southwest Healthcare member, then that process won't happen until the end of this year.
I'm thinking maybe clarifying sorry, Rob, perhaps they mean the shared branching.
Shared branching,
remote
yeah.
banking.
Yeah, the shared branching is the same. So all of our members can use all the shared branches. Deer Valley and Canyon State are both members of the shared branching network. So if you want to go, let's say you're a Deer Valley member and you're up in Payson, you can now go to the Canyon State branch in Payson and do business up there as a shared branch member. After August 3rd, you'll do business up there as a member. We'll all be one big happy family with the same account structure, same cards, all that will be the same. But that we're 2.5 weeks away from that. So until then, the shared branching will work just like it is now. And Deer Valley branches can serve Canyon State members, and Canyon State members can serve Deer Valley branches. We don't have that capability at the Southwest Healthcare yet, but we're working on options for that. I hope that answers Christina, but members can please ask or call us on that if they need more clarification.
I'm going to pause here and just see if we have any more questions.
And membership, please remember, we will be sticking around after this meeting. So if you have a question, the end of the meeting is not the end of your opportunity to ask.
It does look like that is all the questions we have for right now. So I will turn it back to you, Rob and Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Rob, thank you for fielding those questions, and members, thank you for asking those questions. At this point in time, we've completed the required items on our agenda for our annual meeting, and I will entertain a motion from the floor to adjourn the meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Yes, I motion to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, Erica, thank you. We have a motion. I need a second.
I second the motion.
Thank you, Chris. We have a motion and a second. Any last commentary before we call for a vote to adjourn this annual meeting?
Doesn't look like it. Turn it back to you.
Thank you, Christina. Without further question, we will call for a vote. We have a motion and a second. We'll call for a vote to adjourn the meeting. Okay, 99 to 1 in favor of adjourning the meeting. This meeting is officially adjourned, and thank you so much for your participation in this new style of meeting. And again, I will remind everybody as you exit out, you will, if you stick around for questions, fantastic. If you decide to exit out, you will be offered a Survey Monkey type poll. And it will take you all of a minute or two to fill out, and we would appreciate any input you have on that. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend, and stay cool and stay safe. So Christina, we'll just kind of hang out here and let you monitor any incoming, and we will
Yeah, that sounds good.
decide how we want to manage the answers. Thank you very much, and fantastic job, Christina. Awesome.
Yeah, very nice. Good job. Christina, it looks like there's maybe a question on the Visa debit card, and hopefully I answered that during the meeting, but just in case I didn't, you'll get a new card that you'll have to hold on to and then activate August 3rd, and that information is in the letter as well. So hopefully members can see that as an answer.
Just as a reminder to all our members who are still hanging out, we still have question and answer open. If you'd like to go ahead and type in any questions you have. Again, there's two different ways that we're answering those. They will either be answered privately via chat, so you'll be able to see that typed answer in your Q&A box. The other way we are answering questions is live. So you can go ahead and continue to type in those questions as they come up. Everyone is still here able to answer at this time.
We do. I see a member asked where do they get their annual yummy breakfast. I know I missed that today too. So we'll make sure to have an extra good one next year. Any questions out there, Christina, regarding the conversion or anything else?
Doesn't look like it as of this moment. Just hold on for a couple more minutes here.
I see a question about, is there a place to comment on the survey? And yes, I believe the survey that will be offered up to you will have a open comments box where that is correct, isn't it, Christina?
Yes, sir, it is. There will be a place to comment on the survey.
Yes. Thank you.
Paul, I did get a question from a member last week concerned about they're used to using a Visa card at Costco, but they thought maybe because they're getting a MasterCard that it wouldn't work. But just a reminder to folks that go to Costco, and it seems like I see you all there on Saturday, but the MasterCard will work with your PIN, so no need to worry about that.
So Rob, you have time to go to Costco?
Once in a while.
And that was some pretty fancy swag you had there, that hat.
With that, we'll have plenty for members. Our swag department can't wait to get started. Christina, I think we'll let our members enjoy the rest of their weekend. Just remind everybody that questions don't stop here. We're here. We love to take any questions, whether you call us, email us, or come and visit us. We love to hear from our members. So unless you have anything
Thank you, Rob.
further.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have any further questions to send your way at this time. So thank you, and I will turn it back to you guys.
Thank you.
Great.
I just want
Thank you, everyone. On behalf of the board, I would like to thank the staff for their yeoman's-like work this year and keeping up with everything that's going on. As I'd mentioned in some of my commentary, it has been a really challenging year. I just want to remind everyone that's still on the call that we do compete with the big boys, and we're doing everything we can to maintain our competitiveness, but keep our light touch and our member feel, and our staff does a great job with that. So thank you to the staff members that are on the call, and to the board members for taking your Saturday to handle this. Chris, anything you'd like to add?
Nope, that was perfectly said, Paul.
Okay. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see everyone soon.
Thanks, everybody. Great meeting.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.